presentation of TFNN. The Tom O'Brien Show is produced every business day. Tom takes your phone calls toll free at 1-877-927-6648. Internationally at 727-873-7618.
Let's go to Eddie in Boca Raton. Hey, Eddie, what's going on?
Hey, Tom. How are you, man?
I'm doing great, man. Yourself?
Good. It is a treasure to have TFNN every hour during the trading day, to be there to help you, to guide you, and even to give you some peace of mind, or like that somebody else is there with you while you're trading this crazy market, either up or down.
Well, listen, we appreciate you growling and prowling with us out here, because we wouldn't be out here, folks, if we didn't have all you guys, gals, tigers and tigresses as clients. And, you know, the market teaches you every single day, man.
Now, Tom O'Brien.
Good afternoon, everybody. Got to work on that one. I'm going to get it, man. But, man, that power, even listen to those clips, right? You got to work on it every day, that market, man. S&Ps, we're working it today, man. S&Ps down by 27 points right now, down 0.4%, trading at 6,019. And we're at a critical area, right where we were at about 2:15 this afternoon. S&Ps in the red after a light inflation number, and we're going to kick off the program, man. Journal has a great piece. I'll give it a quick glimpse. There it is. The decliners, the risers, right, where those numbers are. May inflation defies tariff fears with a muted May inflation number, but nonetheless, that's your 830 pop. You make a double top up here intraday at about almost 6,060, and we've rolled over, and you're coming into those lows, and yeah, we're going to have some volume today on the S&Ps. Check it out. We've done more volume than you've done on many days, let alone the last two. And, man, you know, I wish I had pulled the trigger a little quicker as you get up, because this acceleration over yesterday, these days, man, when you get up on these light volume days, we're going to have huge volume today on this rollover, okay? And now you make the fundamental leap, okay? So what happens? Today's the day that the market should rejoice. If you are saying that inflation isn't coming, the Fed doesn't have to worry, they're going to be able to cut, and this economy is going to be on fire as we bring down rates, release the cost of capital, the market's not quite there, okay? Inflation isn't up, and what's happening? Why isn't inflation up maybe? But nonetheless, market's priced pretty well at 6,019 right now, but you take a look at these volume numbers, all right? We're going to have a big volume day in this last hour right now. NASDAQ 100. It was the same exact thing a couple days ago when we were right at these levels. You had a high on that day of 21,890. We're at 21,855. You closed that day at 21,822. So right there, man. And in the NASDAQ 100, and I'm talking about Monday, okay? 350. Sorry, yeah, Monday, right? The 9th. Yeah, man, time is flying. 352,000 contracts on Monday. We already did 450, and we're going to have an epic hour as this market's been a roller coaster like they're talking about in the den, and we're approaching those lows. Critical technical area. You're looking for a bid? That's a nice technical area, okay? You came down there in tremendous volume. This is a 5-minute. Yeah, we're not even going to have any volume like that. You're going to come back down, test it on lighter volume. We'll see if the market can find a bid in the final hour of trading. Dow. Back this out. There we go. Dow, right back to where we were when we popped earlier today. A little bit of a different chart for the Dow. And how about Bitcoin? Hanging well, man. We're at, we're negative $800, but Bitcoin, talk about a run, man. Pushing the all-time highs. We're at 109,260. Yields in focus today, that's for sure. As I mentioned at the top of the hour, 10-year, 4.41. And yeah, looks like we're making a run for these highs, and that's at about a point higher than where we are right now, folks. I've had this line on this chart for a while. You're looking for a technical area on the top, right? I didn't put this line on this chart on June 5th, folks. This line has been there, okay? And that line, I'm just backing it out. It's just a technical area of resistance that we've been trading in basically since the highs of last year. Right? Since December 9th, you had a nice high there. This consolidation really set the stage for that being a ceiling. Okay? You touched that area on April 17th. You touched that area again on June 5th. And it looks like we're coming back for that area. what's going to get in the way of this when, man, we got some light numbers of inflation? So you have higher price, lower yield. 4.41 is the number out there. And yeah, we got some dollar weakness too. Watch out, baby. It's happening. It's all happening, as they say. 98,675. You're challenging the lows. Yeah, you got a little bit of a tail out there. Okay? But we are right at the lows, man. You caught a nice bid the day of June 3rd with a low of 98,583, and we're at 98,673. Dollar weakness and lower yields coming at you. Now, we're going to talk these May muted inflation numbers, but what's also remarkable is Paul Tudor Jones, all right? Yeah, he's looking for 10% dollar slump. 90's in the cards, man. You don't think 90's in the cards? You're not assigning enough of a probability, okay? There is a distinct probability that we got dollar weakness coming at it. I love the argument he makes, and we're getting to the CPI numbers in a moment, okay? But here's the quotes. You know that we're going to cut short-term rates dramatically in the next year. And you know that the dollar will probably be lower because of it, a lot lower because of it. Now, everyone's always talking their own book. I got to say that, you know. You got to take anybody who's saying anything. He runs a $16 billion macro hedge fund, okay? Where do you think his money's invested when he's on Bloomberg television telling you that the dollar's going down? Don't even think about buying it, okay? For what it's worth, you know it's out there. But, boy, the points he makes, all right, and just the technical place of it. And he also said, which you better pay attention to that's coming down the line, is that, yeah, when Chairman Powell's done, okay, let's see, when does it end? May 15th, 2026, we're going to have a Federal Reserve chairman that's going to cut rates by 2%. No, I'm kidding on that one, okay? But you better believe that if things aren't happening fast enough, Trump has the right to put in whoever he wants. And I think the way things are going right now, there's not going to be a lot of pushback on anyone reasonable that feels that rates should be lower, okay? So you're talking about only May next year, 11 months in, okay? And yeah, that Trump's likely to appoint an uber dovish Federal Reserve chair to accommodate his growth agenda when that term ends, which is May 15th, 2026. And that is his term as chair of the Federal Reserve. His term as a member of the board ends January 31st, 2028, and his second term started May 23rd, 2022. So he's got a 4-year term. And I guess they shave a week off it because he was sworn in the 23rd of 2022. That's May. And he runs through May 15th. So, you know, in light of today's action, right? Yeah, we got a little volatility, man. And we got light inflation data that goes with it. And you got dollar weakness. Now, we go a little big picture, okay? Big picture, we haven't been below these price levels since, you know, you take out this low that we had in April that we're challenging right now. You break below that low, and folks, we're within 1 point of that level right now. That's not it. Forgive me. 97,921 going back to April 21st, okay? But outside of that, you're approaching area. You break below this 100, what's next? There it is. You don't got to be a technical trader. Where's the next stop? Next stop's at 90, man. We're at 96.62, and we'll talk some inflation data when we get back. Stay tuned, folks.
If you spend any time online researching trading techniques on how to begin your trading journey, you've no doubt come across many folks who push Forex trading as a way to make big money quickly. Unfortunately, there are equally as many stories of these so-called Forex professionals just looking to make a quick buck off aspiring traders without actually teaching the ins and outs of the Forex market. This is what sets Teddy Keckstack's The Tiger Forex Report off the riffraff. Every Monday, former Chicago Mercantile Exchange member and author Teddy Keckstack releases his Tiger Forex Report newsletter, where he dives into the complex world of Forex and takes time to actually teach you his methods that have made him so successful in the fast-paced and rewarding world of Forex trading. Furthermore, all subscribers receive access to archived live streams of Teddy's, where he provides university-level education to help you in Forex trading. All first-time subscribers receive a 30-day money-back guarantee. So what are you waiting for? Forex awaits.
The reality is that navigating financial markets can be risky. Markets can be chaotic and difficult to understand. Having the latest market advice can help you turn this chaos into a key for creating winning trades. At TFNN, we understand that it can be hard to find reliable market news. That's why each of our market experts offers their very own market newsletter, a must-have tool for every trader out there striving to find an edge in today's markets. TFNN newsletters cover every aspect of the markets so you can analyze the market before you trade. Try any of our great newsletters risk-free with our 30-day money-back guarantee. Just visit the Newsletters tab on the front page of TFNN.com. TFNN, educating investors.
Are you ready to take charge of your financial future? TFNN is your gateway to the world of trading and investing. Whether you're starting out or scaling up, TFNN empowers traders and investors of all skill levels with top-notch investing systems, strategies, and techniques. It's time to protect and grow your money with insight you can trust. Join us live Monday through Friday during market hours for exclusive content that moves with the markets. At TFNN, we bring the trading floor to you. Our seasoned hosts are here to answer your calls and questions live on the air. Check out the Tiger's Den for just $1 and follow us on YouTube and become part of our vibrant community. And remember, at TFNN, we're so confident in the value we provide that we offer a 30-day money-back guarantee on all new premium newsletter subscriptions and services. You have absolutely nothing to risk, so why wait? Tune in live to Tiger TV and transform your trading journey, because when you know better, you invest better. Join us and experience the difference today. TFNN, educating investors.
Welcome back, folks. So yeah, let's talk a little bit of inflation data first. All right, and here it is. Muted May inflation defies tariff fears, and one of the remarkable parts of this: new cars, decliner. Okay, you're talking about smartphones, a decliner, right? Furniture and bedding, a decliner. All of those you could have seen rises out there. What is on the rise? Major appliances, okay? What's up with peanut butter, man? Bananas. Car and truck rentals, ice cream. Nonetheless, man, you get a soft number. And like I was talking about this morning, so here's the case I made this morning, all right? Shelter was on the rise. If shelter's on the rise and we still have a light CPI number, that's going to be an even better PCE number, because shelter is a much smaller component of the personal consumption expenditure. And so the PCE is going to come in great with the Fed even prefers. So we'll see where we go from there. But nonetheless, and yeah, you're making the case. And I'm not saying the dollar's going to hell. No one's buying America. Nothing like that. You know what I mean? The dollar is the default currency, man. Period. End of story. Okay? What this is a story of lower yields coming at it from where we are right now. That seems to be the case, and things can always change. But this is a case of momentum, and the momentum right now is to the downside. Period. And this was a one-way trip. I mean, that was a heck of a rally during COVID, right? From 90 to 115 on a one-way train that didn't stop in the period of a year. We pushed these lows for the better part now of 2 years it took us to break through. And it's amazing. We're saying, my dad's saying, it teaches you every day. The more you're in it, man, right? Building cause, breaking down, trying to break it. 2 years it took, because that was a heck of a run. Okay? Market got way ahead of itself, thinking that lower rates were coming back, right? Market said, we're going to cut. Fed's going to cut so quick. Transitory, this, that. No, not the case, okay? Years. We've been waiting, but guess what? We're here, man. And I think this transition's coming. Now, you jump to gold, okay? This would be beneficial for gold, but this gold contract right now is acting like, even if we make a pullback, you're not going to torch new highs right now. That's just not how we're reacting. You're still a good $150 off the highs, okay? And on a day like today where we have extreme dollar weakness, you're up by $20. For some context there, we're almost a full point. We're a good 70 cents off of those highs that we've had. And just gold's just, gold is really priced for a lot of acceleration already in that metal at 3,500. You jump to silver, even with dollar weakness, you got silver weakness. Okay, so the metals have a lot of optimism priced in right now. People who are buying those metals, they bought them right now. And silver and gold might need a little bit of a consolidation. Gold especially, after the heck of a run it's had, and you see the type of consolidations that can play out over the dollar. So inflation comes in a little bit light, and then let's talk a little bit of China. So this one's interesting. Which one to start with? All right, let's start with this one. This is the 8 a.m. post this morning, okay, from the president. Our deal's done. Full magnets, any necessary rare earths, they're going to be supplied by China, upfront by China. Likewise, they're going to provide the U.S. Chinese students can go here again. They can, I love how it's Chinese students using our colleges, not attending, using our colleges and universities. It sticks out, nonetheless. You can't help. Now, here's the kicker, though, okay, from the Journal. What time is this one at? 2:45 in the afternoon. I was reading this right as I got on the program because they call it an exclusive, right? And this is, guess what? Guess what this morning was light on? Details. All right? Now, listen, this is great. This is how things work. If they're just talking every 6 months, that's okay, all right? But China is putting licenses out for 6 months at a time. They're ready for everything to be negotiated on a constant basis, and that's okay. If they get over there, they get it done. They we'll extend it every 6 months. That can be okay to a certain degree. Much better than the uncertainty that was lingering. But yeah, they're putting 6 months limits on those rare earth export licenses. So let's hope that everything calms down over those 6 month period of time because, yeah, we're going to have basically a constant renegotiation for those licenses from China. And that's like the biggest component there. Nonetheless, it's a good thing in the short term. But yeah, they're temporarily restoring rare earth licenses with one of the key breakthroughs. That was, yeah, a big component, of course. And in exchange for that, the U.S. negotiators agreed to relax some recent restrictions on the sale to China of products such as jet engines, related parts. There's a million things that go into that type of a deal. But nonetheless, 6 months. So are we negotiating? Always, right? Always negotiating. All right. And yeah, let's talk a little bit of tariffs out there on this one, okay? Look at these numbers. 20 billion. 15 billion on a monthly basis, okay? Duties generated $37.8 billion in April and in May. The tally, well, a big jump, still falls short of the amount Trump said the U.S. is raking in. Duties collected in May, 6% of the government's, I mean, it's a big number when you're talking about 6% of the government's monthly income. And percentages on small numbers can be deceiving. Love that phrase. Say it all the time. Up 42% from the $15 billion it received in April, okay? The agency collected $22 billion in May is the number. And where are they coming from? Monthly imports by country. Mexico, Canada, China. You see the drop-off, though, right? And yeah, not surprising. You get an acceleration. Then you get a drop-off as the tariffs are imposed. China, $23.4 billion. China and Hong Kong, $7.9. I love the separation, right? China and Hong Kong. You got to be so meticulous with the wording when you talk about Hong Kong and China. It's a big number. We'll see if it plays out, and hopefully it does, as in plays out. You know, of course, yes, it's going to contribute to everything. Now, you have, at the same time, you have Treasury Secretary, and folks, you could say this for anything. Anything remains to be seen. Anything. What's the future hold? Remains to be seen. Okay? It remains to be seen whether the tax bill will grow enough to pay for it. By every estimate, that won't happen. That's the disclaimer on the end of it. I hope it does. It remains to be seen if it does. It's unfortunate with the way that things are going, though, that you couldn't pass it and put the cuts in there then, right? I said it all the time. It goes both sides. Republicans want all the cuts, and they're not willing to make they want the tax cuts. They're not willing to cut all the spending that's required for the tax cuts to actually balance things because their constituents themselves would flip out over the losses to those certain things. Democrats on the other side aren't willing to for the programs that they want, and I'm generalizing, but we get it, right? They don't do the tax hikes to actually pay for it because people would flip out over the tax hikes. No one's doing it. All right, yeah, it remains to be seen, but by every estimate, that's going to be difficult. Can it happen? Sure, it can happen, okay? but it hasn't happened before. And that's, we've already had these tax cuts. We've already had this conversation. And yes, everything's always changing. It's a different scenario. We've already had this. This is an extension of the tax cuts that didn't pay for itself in the first estimate. I'm not sure why it would do it again. And when you talk about the estimate of the difference here, okay, you're talking about whether you talk about the January projection, and yes, okay, it's an extension of the tax cuts. Of course it is. And tax cuts are great. They're pro-growth. You better believe they're pro-growth, okay? And yeah, we got a spending problem. We got a spending problem, period. But man, you're talking about adding, just next year alone, folks, okay, 1.6% of GDP by itself. That's next year alone. So you can talk about the future growth over a 10-year period, okay? But you need massive growth immediately to start paying for these taxes. It's real easy to say, well, what remains to be seen over 10 years. You're talking about next year. They start right now. Stay tuned, folks. We're coming back. We'll talk some Tesla, Microsoft, Amazon. We'll be right back.
Many trading newsletters attempt to focus on a narrow set of equities or commodities. While this works for some, it oftentimes misses many opportunities that possess huge gain potential. But how is an independent trader supposed to scan the entire market looking for these hidden opportunities? One simple answer: the opening call newsletter. Basil Chapman, developer of the Chapman Wave trading methodology, has been trading the markets for longer than most trading influencers have been alive. And over that time, he has honed his methodology in order to accurately call movements in a wide range of equities, from semiconductors to uranium to key indices and so much more. Basil is old school, taking the time to educate the trader while also giving his insights into key indices, selective stocks, and more. Opening call subscribers also receive access to dozens of educational live streams that can be accessed at any time for your edification. All first-time subscribers receive a 30-day money-back guarantee. So ignore the pop trading influencers and start learning time-tested technical analysis.
Steve Rhodes started his trading career as a student almost 20 years ago, and the student has now become the master. Steve won the prestigious Timer of the Year award in 2018 and barely missed that mark again in 2019, finishing at number 2 for the year. An amazing accomplishment. Steve Rhodes is committed to sharing his techniques and knowledge with anyone who wants to learn, and he shares his vast amount of trading knowledge every day in his Mastering Probability newsletter. Steve's award-winning newsletter, Mastering Probability, is delivered every trading day with updates throughout the afternoon. Sign up for Steve's market newsletter, Mastering Probability, and you'll receive access to 7 of Steve's educational webinars absolutely free. At TFNN, all our newsletters come with a 30-day money-back guarantee, so you have absolutely nothing to worry about. Visit TFNN.com and try Mastering Probability 30 days risk-free today. TFNN, educating investors.
This year has already been a wild ride for the market. We started off heavily in the red, traversed back to all-time highs, and we now have a trade war looming. Trying to play this chop as an individual trader leads to death by 1,000 cuts. Where does this market go next? Should I add to this position or cut my losses? Where is the next opportunity? Tariffs, trade wars, analysis paralysis. Don't become a victim of this intense market. Instead, join Larry Pesavento over the 2nd and 4th Friday of every month for 3 hours of live trading. Larry has been through many markets just like this one, and the insight he provides is invaluable. The dates for this month are April 11th and 25th, 9 a.m. to noon Eastern Time. Get in here and let's start trading. TFNN, educating investors.
This portion of the Tom O'Brien Show is brought to you by Direxion's daily leveraged and inverse ETFs. Whether you're a bull or a bear, you choose the direction. Visit Direxion.com. Investing in the funds involves significant risk and should only be utilized by investors who understand the impact of leverage and actively monitor their portfolio. They are not designed to track the underlying index or security for more than a day. Before investing, carefully consider a fund's investment objective, risk, charges, and expenses contained in the prospectus available at Direxion.com. Read carefully. Distributor Foreside Fund Services, LLC.
Welcome back, folks. Talking a little bit of Starbucks. So Howard Schultz backs the turnaround Wow, the headline, back Starbucks CEO Brian Nichols' turnaround approach. He better for what they're paying him, right? That guy has not been in there long. What was his package originally? 70 million, 100 million? Something like that to poach him from Chipotle. And they're getting a bid today on that one, up by 4.2% right now. Starbucks, and yeah, they got a meeting of 14,000. 14,000. Well, you know, they're everywhere. And they really are. 14,000 North American cafe managers and other company leaders Wednesday said those doubting Starbucks' ability to rebound from a years-long sales slump will be proven wrong. Never been more optimistic. Now, again, what else is he going to say, right? What else is he ever going to say? Is he going to say he's worried? He's not sure? Sometimes these articles, right? Nonetheless, Schultz stepped down in 2023, and Nichol was named CEO last year. And you can just probably look at the chart to find where he was. Was it that day? Nope, it was probably this day. Yeah, it sure was. And look where you are, right where you were the day after he took off, I believe. Yeah, it's got to be that day. Sometimes you can just find it on the chart, folks. All the volume, everything. You go from 77 up to 95, and here we are, right at 95. What I will say is somebody that loves Starbucks, okay, it's like a guilty pleasure. You spend $5.85 on a cold brew coffee that probably cost them 50 cents to make in the back. Cold brew coffee, all right? Now, the cream's probably the most expensive part of that thing. I don't know. $6 for a coffee. They figured it out, cold brew. I don't get the part of this when they're talking about the cafe environment, right? Nowadays, drive-through is like everything. When he was at Chipotle, he revolutionized the fact that it was all about drive-through. You can use their app. They're building Chipotles that you have to order on the app to even use the drive-through. Revolutionary, right? Now they're testing new products. They're working on consumer satisfaction, all this stuff. They're adding 10,000 stores in North America, okay, and they're restoring furniture removed during the pandemic. 30,000 seats were stripped from Starbucks cafes in recent years. There's always people hanging out in Starbucks, to their credit. I never hang out in Starbucks, and the one thing that probably I say to myself, man, that's a lot of money to spend on a stupid product, but you know what? If that's what I'm going to do, and I'm going to spend $6 on a Starbucks, and that's how maybe I do. Never once, and I don't know if that's the path, man, this day. People are always looking for cool hangouts, coffee shops, etc. That's a tough one for Starbucks to get my head around. I want to see them revolutionize technology, and they already did that. They were on the forefront of the Starbucks app. Load that app. I still do it myself. But you know what? They don't give you much on that app anymore. Does anyone ever deal that? For those out there, any feedback? Do you guys use the Starbucks app? They used to have some great promotions. Now I feel like they don't give you anything. I get a promotion occasionally, and it'll be like if you order 6 days in a row, we'll give you 100 stars. That's like saying if you spend $40 on your coffees over the next 6 days at a minimum, we'll give you a small kickback. All right, let's look at this market as we're trading a little bit lower right now. Coming into the lows of the day yet again. We got 25 minutes left. And look at the volume after actually picking up, right? These are 15-minute bars. We're only 4 minutes into this bar right now. And yeah, we did 45,000 contracts the last one, and we're coming into those lows. NASDAQ 100 right now, 21,832. All right. We take a look at Tesla. And Tesla, self-driving cars, push back a bit, but yeah, they're coming June 22nd. Get ready for some volatility. I talk about it all the time, man. Unfortunately, it's not going to be Tesla's fault necessarily. Okay, but there's going to be tragedies as these cars are rolling out. It's a tragedy how many people die on the roads, folks. And you're still going to have, even if the cars are perfect, remember, you're still going to have human drivers that make human mistakes on the road. There's going to be accidents. And so, yeah, you're going to have extreme volatility as you start having Teslas everywhere. And you have optimism, though. You do have optimism, but you're giving it up a bit. And yeah, we got a red bar, and Tesla's in the red after popping higher to, we were just trading on the morning session. Yeah, we're up to 335. You're down $12 from where we were this morning on Tesla. We jump over to Microsoft right now. Yeah, this market giving it up. Microsoft still in the green. Microsoft, one of the strongest equities in this market right now. Look at this pop, man. Unbelievable. You made an all-time high in Microsoft this morning? Is that right? It sure is. Unbelievable. What are we at now? 3.5 trillion. You talk about it, man. Microsoft is just on fire, up by 0.2%. You jump over to Amazon, down 2% right now, down $4 to 213. We jump over to Apple, the big dog, down 2% as well, 198.70. You know, with the Worldwide Developer Conference, I really found myself for the first time yesterday saying, you know what, man, this is wild. I'm not even getting excited for the iPhone 17 yet. Now, they're going to come out with the iPhone 17 probably in the fall. They'll announce it in September. They'll come out with it in the fall. They'll have it for the holiday season. And then you look at that, and it's like, I have a 12, folks. I have an iPhone 12. If they don't have people upgrading for 5 or 6 years on your phone, and I use it for everything for business, okay? And a 12 still operating. It's great. They might have a problem. And yeah, they make a ton of money on services. But boy. And then you add into the context, right, that Johnny Ive working with OpenAI, the whole discussion that you can have another type of a physical device that replaces the iPhone in the next 10 years. Listen, Apple's not going anywhere. They're not going bankrupt, okay? They'll be in that market as well. But all Magnificent 7 equities are not created equal. Not even close. You jump over to Google, different concerns there, where you talk about divesting Chrome, but then you talk about always having YouTube, which is just a juggernaut, and then Gemini and the new VO3, their video production service. I haven't signed up for it yet, but boy, I think it's going to happen, man. I think I got to try that VO3. The more I read about, the more videos I see with that production, it is amazing, the type of content, man. Think about it. If you can do the type of content is on the internet right now with Google VO3, and you can do it for credits for $250 a month, $500 a month, okay? Think about what you're going to be able to do when you're on a corporate level and you say, you know what, this is great. I love what I can do for $250 a month. I can almost make a production-style movie. What if I pay you $1 million a month? What can you do for me? $12 million over the course of a year is nothing. Then we do it again. What if I give you $10 million? What if I give you $100 million, right? That's a $1.2 billion budget for the whole year. $100 million a month. What, you know, this is where. Think about what you can do for $250 a month right now for video production. And yeah, you're going to eat through some of those credits. You're going to have to do them again. Okay? The content game has changed forever, and Google's going to be a big player. Period. End of sentence, man. It's just amazing. Nothing on the internet's going to be real anymore. I wonder how we're going to regulate that, right? We're going to have to find a way to say, is this reality? Is this a real person? Or is it computer generated? Because nothing is going to be real anymore. It's all happening, folks. We'll be right back.
If you're looking for potential trading setups in the stock market, then Rocket Equities and Options Report is a newsletter you should try. Tommy O'Brien delivers options and equity trades when the markets present them using a combination of fundamentals and technicals. Sign up for Rocket Equities and Options Report today with a 30-day money-back guarantee so you have nothing to risk. For all the details and to start your subscription today, visit the front page of TFNN.com. TFNN, educating investors. For traders who crave risk, Direxion's daily leveraged and inverse ETFs provide opportunities to magnify short-term perspectives with up to 3 times a daily leverage, utilize bull and bear funds from both sides of the trade, and trade through rapidly changing markets. These are highly leveraged ETFs with daily resetting designed for short-term trading, not long-term investing. Whether you're a bull or a bear, you choose the Direxion. For up-to-date pricing and performance, go to Direxion.com. Investing in the funds involves significant risk and should only be utilized by investors who understand the impact of leverage and actively monitor their portfolio. They are not designed to track the underlying index or security for more than a day. Before investing, carefully consider a fund's investment objective, risk, charges, and expenses contained in the prospectus available at Direxion.com. Read carefully. Distributor Foreside Fund Services, LLC.
The reality is that navigating financial markets can be risky. Markets can be chaotic and difficult to understand. Having the latest market advice can help you turn this chaos into a key for creating winning trades. At TFNN, we understand that it can be hard to find reliable market news. That's why each of our market experts offers their very own market newsletter. a must-have tool for every trader out there striving to find an edge in today's markets. TFNN newsletters cover every aspect of the markets so you can analyze the market before you trade. Try any of our great newsletters risk-free with our 30-day money-back guarantee. Just visit the Newsletters tab on the front page of TFNN.com. TFNN, educating investors.
TFNN has launched the Tiger's Den. Hosted at Discord, TFNN has been educating traders for more than 20 years with live programming hosted by a variety of professional traders during market hours. The Tiger's Den, available to all tigers and tigresses for just $1 for the year. There's no catch or added costs when you join our community of traders. Sign up today and become a part of this educational community of traders. Just visit the front page of TFNN.com.
This program is brought to you by Vista Gold, traded on the NYSE American and TSX under the symbol VGZ.
Tom O'Brien.
Welcome back, folks. S&P's off by 26 right now. Markets in the red. We got about 18 minutes to go until the closing bell. You jump over to Disney. Catching a bid yet again. Quite a run, man. Disney's up 50% from where we were coming into those tariffs. April 9th, you pop from 80 to 120 on a longer-term basis, okay? You are bumping into the highs from 2024, right above where we are right now. And then you also have the highs from 2022, okay? But you break above this area. And this is how, similar to, let's just back it up on a monthly, okay? Because you break above this area, this is an important break, man, right? Look at this technical area. You're talking about highs from 2015. 2015 in Disney. You're trading at 119.16 right now, and you made it to 122 in 2015. 10-year consolidation coming at you in August. And, yeah, you're pushing those levels right now, and you're doing it with good volume. Okay, last month, 248 million. We've already done, we'll see what happens. We're June trading. But you're pushing those eyes on Disney. Now, it's interesting, this article, okay? And Comcast. We'll pull up Comcast as well. But Disney and Universal, talking about AI, talking about Google, right? Talking about Gemini. Disney and Universal sue AI image company Midjourney for unlicensed use of Star Wars, The Simpsons, and more. Now, I've talked about this, okay? ChatGPT right now, we're going to have an entire, AI segment, I think, folks. Because when I showed those Pika videos, right, everybody enjoyed those. And it is interesting. ChatGPT right now, you cannot use licensed characters on ChatGPT. You cannot tell ChatGPT to create you an image of Spider-Man doing a certain thing or something like that. As far as I know. Let me know if I'm wrong. You can on many others, okay? And on Pika you can. You can create Sonic the Hedgehog. You can do all these things. And ChatGPT will usually tell you that it doesn't have the license to create these types of things. And it's going to be the wild, wild west. This is where we are. And with this administration, you're going to see, right, decreased regulations when it comes to AI. And think about Napster, okay? Think about Napster and when certain technologies come about, how regulations struggle to keep up. And it takes years, if not decades, right, to close some of those holes that regulations are trying that they lack. I mean, think about it. Napster. You could just take anybody's music, get it for free, put it on your computer, never pay a single dime. You're going to see these characters everywhere for a long period of time. That's what's going to happen. As in the licensed characters, and this is going to be the first battle. Now, you got companies out there, like an AI image company, okay, but you better believe they can't handle it in terms of, I've posted the pictures of Tommy turning into Iron Man, right, taking off. That's somebody's licensed character, okay? This lawsuit claims that the company used and distributed AI-generated characters from movies like Star Wars, Simpsons, other films, okay? The studios include numerous examples in the suit of AI-generated images from Cars, Toy Story, Shrek. This is exactly what I'm talking about. The first lawsuit's here. If you remember me posting those, I said it. You can't do it on ChatGPT right now. You can do it on these services. And then think about this. Pika, I'm paying Pika. Right? You're paying. Now, Pika, I think, is like $20 a month to try. Folks, $35 maybe it rolls in. Okay? Hey, Duncan Steve, is that a licensed version of Batman in there? What do we got going on? Did you use AI for that one? Yeah. You can see how the battle's going to be on, and I don't blame him, man, because I'm paying for this AI app to create Tommy and make him into all these licensed characters, right? And meanwhile, they're getting nothing from it. Yeah, Disney and Universal demanding a jury trial. They know what's at stake, man. Upend the bedrock incentives of U.S. copyright law. This reminds me of Napster. I'm pretty sure that this is going to get corrected, but it's going to take a while, man. Right? It's going to take years because why? Because the technology is so far in front of everything else. We've never had something like this, that you're going to, at the drop of a button, right, using all these licensed characters, etc. Yeah, creativity is the cornerstone of our business. What about my creativity? Using AI apps to morph my son into Sonic the Hedgehog as he drives across. I kid, okay? But yeah, they're bringing it. And I think they will win out because it is the cornerstone of Bedrock. You know, you create a character, right? And then what? All of a sudden, Google Gemini. Think about the other side of this, right? I create a character. You create Homer Simpson. You create whoever you want to create, right? You create a character. And then you're going to have the AI companies can do anything with that character, charge anybody, turn it in. There's a new forefront in content and content creation, man. And the battle's on. Yeah. All right, let's check in on gold. Yeah, holding the gains right now. We check back in on the dollar. 666. Watch out, folks. 98, 666. Dollar. A little bit of a bid off the lows. But, man, feels like the dollar's just waiting to have a big day and just blow apart these lows, folks. It really does. All the pressure to the downside right now. We're past the CPI number. Now, remember, you do get PPI tomorrow. Producer price index, not going to be as important as this morning was. You do get PPI out tomorrow, though. But we have lower yields. You get dollar weakness. You got gold catching a bid right now. And, yeah, speaking of AI, they're everywhere, man. And, you know, Google adds chief AI architect to accelerate development of AI products. They're already charging $250, but, yeah. Google DeepMind's Chief Technology Officer is going to be new Senior Vice President position, Chief AI Architect, and he's been Google DeepMind's Chief Technology Officer. Corey, I'm gonna blow this one apart, man. I can't even take a stab at that gentleman's last name, but boy, to be DeepMind's Chief Technology Officer, you think he knows a few things? You think he's been to a few astute institutions? Probably a brilliant gentleman, and nonetheless, he's going to be the Chief AI Architect. Some of these forefronts of technology, remarkable stuff. Jump over to Google, down by about 0.6% right now. And you know, data being key, right? Imagine they own YouTube. Imagine the data that they have with just the video. Imagine the video archive database they have of videos. All right, and we'll do one more. Because I saw this morning. I just Googled it. Didn't cover it this morning. German startup, DeepL. Everything's deep. You're going deep into AI. Says the latest NVIDIA chips let it translate the entire internet in just 18 days. I'm actually surprised it took 18 days. I really am. Down from 194 days, though. Okay, valued at $2 billion. That startup has created its own AI models for language translation. Well, they better be able to find Apple as a customer, man, because one of the cool parts, look at Apple, man. Look at that bearish engulfing. All right, be careful on Apple shares, man. You're going to have some volume here. 10 minutes into the trade, left in the trading day. Yeah. You're probably not going to get the 72 million, but we're going to have a big number come in at the close. You put this thing, you know, look at these numbers. If you ever need to know what's going to happen on the end of the day, folks, right? Just go look at some of the previous days. Say how much volume's coming in at the end of the day here, right? You got 7 million at the end of one day, okay? Volume on the close, 6 million on one day. So we're going to get 6, 7, 8 million on a day like today where you have some volatility. You might even get more than that on Apple. So what's that going to boost you to? Somewhere around maybe the 60 million shares. We'll see how the final 10 minutes come in. S&P's in the red, negative by 21. One more segment. Don't go away, folks.
Many trading newsletters attempt to focus on a narrow set of equities or commodities. While this works for some, it oftentimes misses many opportunities that possess huge gain potential. But how is an independent trader supposed to scan the entire market looking for these hidden opportunities? One simple answer: the opening call newsletter. Basil Chapman, developer of the Chapman Wave trading methodology, has been trading the markets for longer than most trading influencers have been alive. And over that time, he has honed his methodology in order to accurately call movements in a wide range of equities, from semiconductors to uranium to key indices and so much more. Basil is old school, taking the time to educate the trader while also giving his insights into key indices, selective stocks, and more. Opening call subscribers also receive access to dozens of educational live streams that can be accessed at any time for your edification. All first-time subscribers receive a 30-day money-back guarantee. So ignore the pop trading influencers and start learning time-tested technical analysis.
In the world of trading, only a few names stand out like Larry Pesavento, a pro's pro with over 50 years of experience. Larry has seen it all. A former Chicago Mercantile Exchange member, Larry has authored 10 books and trained over 1,000 traders with his unmatched expertise. Introducing Fibonacci 24/7, Larry Pesavento's daily trading service that turns the complexity of markets into opportunities. Published every Sunday, receive a comprehensive report packed with detailed commentary, charts, and videos that illuminate the patterns shaping the markets, with updates throughout the week exclusively for subscribers. Whether through charts or videos, Larry's analysis is your roadmap to navigating the markets. You can sign up now at TFNN.com for just $97. And with all TFNN newsletters backed by a 30-day money-back guarantee, you have nothing to risk. For all the details, visit TFNN.com. You'll find Fibonacci 24/7 right under the newsletters tab.
The reality is that navigating financial markets can be risky. Markets can be chaotic and difficult to understand. Having the latest market advice can help you turn this chaos into a key for creating winning trades. At TFNN, we understand that it can be hard to find reliable market news. That's why each of our market experts offers their very own market newsletter. A must-have tool for every trader out there striving to find an edge in today's markets. TFNN newsletters cover every aspect of the markets so you can analyze the market before you trade. Try any of our great newsletters risk-free with our 30-day money-back guarantee. Just visit the Newsletters tab on the front page of TFNN.com. TFNN. Educating investors.
Don't forget, you can listen to TFNN live on your mobile device 24 hours per day. Go to TFNN.com, then hit Watch Tiger TV. That's TFNN.com, then hit Watch Tiger TV.
Welcome back, folks. U.S. tariffs on China won't change again. That's it. It's set in stone. There's no uncertainty, folks. I actually laughed out loud. And listen, I got no problem with anything. But if you think that anything is locked in stone right now, and listen, he's part of the administration, okay? That's, even if he's hopeful, even if that's what he thinks he is, China's passing rare earth licenses 6 months at a time, okay? Everything's on the table. Hopefully they won't change. Hopefully that provides some certainty. But boy, if you think a meeting comes out and anyway, for what it's worth, man, I'd be very skeptical of thinking that is actually the certainty we deal with, and hopefully it is, and hopefully you just keep going every 6 months out. But man, tensions tend to flare. Very difficult to calm all of them on an ever-present basis to say that they're never changing again. They seem to change by Monday morning sometimes, and hopefully that's over, but I don't know. I don't think that's over. I don't think that they're over in terms of if things go well, if things don't go well. Is China giving all those things? Are they giving all the licenses? You know, the details. Devil's always in the details that matter. And the details are going to get looked at every 6 months. That's the tough part, right? Nonetheless, S&P's clawing it back a bit. We're only down by 18 right now, catching a little bit. Coming into the closing bell, 6,026 off of the session lows. And why not finish it off with yields, though? No reprieve there. We got higher price, lower yield, coming at you right now, 4.41. 4.41 on that 10-year. And yeah, watch out for that dollar, man. We got a bit on the dollar saving itself. But lower lows, lower highs on the dollar. We're pushing the lows 98.69 right now. Yeah, look at these. And I would say you got some bearish engulfings going on here, man. You know, nothing too dramatic, right? You're taking out a couple days, but you're going to do it with some volume likely as well. Amazon down by 1.9. Apple's really got it going, man. Down by 2.05% right now. NVIDIA down by 0.9% right now. All right, folks. Thanks so much for tuning in. Ending your trading day right here at me at TFNN. Have a great night. Have a safe night, folks. And I'll see you tomorrow morning for the morning market kickoff. Remember, we got PPI tomorrow morning as well. Market's in the red. Have a great night, folks. We'll see you tomorrow. Thanks so much.